Hello, and welcome to coverage of MSEM League matches. I'm Caillou, and today we're going to be watching a match between that damn Pipsqueak and Chumbeque. So, since this is a league, what that means is it's more of an informal testing ground for players before they submit decks to tournaments. Um, but there are still like some point incentives involved if you go 5-0 with the deck. However, it's generally like lower stakes than our monthly tournaments GPs, and the brews are more experimental, especially since, unlike GPs where deck lists are public, deck lists are emphatically not public here. So we're seeing Chumbeque open up with turn 1 Mana Ascetic, which is the format's premier mana dork. Um, Meanwhile, on the other end, Pip played One with the World, which is a 1 mana instant which says, look at the top card of your library. If it's a land, you can put it onto the battlefield. It was a land, so Pip got 1 mana ramp. Both players facing off in this ramp war here, I guess. The choice to use a Mana Ascetic Mana Ascetic versus One with the World is interesting because One with the World can whiff. So you have to have some confidence or be running a lot of lands or have some reason to prefer instants over a regular creature. Meanwhile, on Chumbeque's end, the ability for Mana Ascetic to use land abilities could be relevant because it's not just because it's activated abilities, which is ramp, but it also could be like a non-mana activated ability. And for now is using the ramp mode and is going to play Masquerading Bohemian. So whenever another creature enters the battlefield, it becomes a copy of that creature. So what I think this is Chumbeque is playing the counters aggro deck, where basically there are a bunch of creatures in this format which are cheap and have high power and toughness, but they enter with a bunch of -1/-1 counters on them. So there was an aggro deck theorized around that, which involved here it is. So Frenzied Watchkeeper enter. It has 6 -1/-1 counters. Masquerade Bohemian becomes a copy of that, so it's now a 7/7 lifelink, but it doesn't enter with the counters, as far as I know. Yep. So he gets to swing in for a massive 7 lifelink damage this turn, despite taking 5 from his own mana base so far. So Masquerading Bohemian swings in for 7, and Chumbeque gains 7 life. So far, all Pip has done is play 2 One with the Worlds and both at sorcery speed. So I wonder what Pip could be doing. This could be an improved version of Temur Tulip turns, because I noticed the colors are Temur colors. And I know that Pip did play One with the World in that deck. It was a combo deck which I think just chained turn spells and aimed to just basically go off that way. It apparently, despite getting a 5-0, was not very good. So this might be Pip's attempt at tuning it. Or we're seeing a Heart of Zadina. This is one of the powerful new lands from Worlds Away, a set which was just added to MSEM. And is using it to generate 1 more mana than Pip has, 6 mana, plays Reflected Moment. So I think this is the Temur Turns deck. Oh wow, and going up to 9 life by immediately cracking that Shock Fetch, that's definitely risky. But I think Pip's plan is to never let Chumbeque untap again, so I don't think it matters. So the third One with the World, because this time it wasn't a land, but does have a Worlds Colliding. So does get back all of the lands, or the fetch lands, in Pip's grave for further deck thinning. Also notably is that Worlds Colliding functions as a win con in and of itself because of the Coalesce mechanic, which allows you to cast it as a creature from your graveyard, but you still get the sorcery effect. Okay, playing Petal Weaver Alexa, getting back Worlds Colliding. I think that this is an infinite loop, because you just cast Worlds Colliding, and then whenever Petal Weaver, because you tick down Petal Weaver Alexa twice, and when Petal Weaver Alexa dies, Worlds Colliding, because of its ability to rebuy permanents, will just get her back again. So Pip just takes infinite turns until Pip can coalesce Worlds Colliding. or coalesce another win con and then just attack through everything Chumbeque has. Okay, so getting into game 2 here. Unlike last time where both players had fast turn 1 acceleration, now both players are just playing a shock fetch turn 1. So turn 2, Chumbeque tapping for a Laugar Lotus Warrior. Right now it's just a 2-2, so not super impressive. I think the problem is an aggro deck needs to be able to threaten to kill the turns deck before it can go off, and this aggro deck, despite being cool and synergistic, just doesn't have that speed. So Pip plays Possibility Engine, which is a card advantage engine for the turns deck. Makes it harder for you to brick, basically. Meanwhile, Chumbeque has a second Laugar Lotus Warrior, swings in for 2 with the first one. But yeah, it's not a good sign when you're an aggro deck and your opponent has more life than you do, despite not having played a single actual attacker. So Pip is going to cycle a Rugged Outcropping and just play a land and pass. I guess versus Chumbeque's deck you can afford to take turns off, but I think the problem with this Tulip deck is that it seems like it takes too long to actually set up the turns combo. Like in a GP, an aggro deck would overrun this, Tempo would be able to get under it and then have counter spells for the turns. And Control would just counter the turn spells, so I don't know. So Pip has a Petal Weaver Alexa, but Chumbeque has a Spell Stutter, and then exiles a land off of Possibility Engine. But yeah, Pip did have a land in hand. So I guess just wasn't expecting the Spell Stutter, so if Pip had played the land before, Pip would have been able to pay for the Spell Stutter. So Chumbeque playing Unexplored Regions. I don't think this card is very good, because it's just fixing, it draws you a card. Yeah, I think the Mana Ascetic, this Mana Ascetic and Unexplored Regions both seem like clunky pieces in what is already a fairly synergistic clunky deck. I think playing some generically good aggro 1-drops instead of these would be better. So Pip plays One with the World, exiling Reflected Moment. So gets the land. Cracking the shock fetch. That's brave, because this puts Pip dead on board next turn. Wait, is that... Or is Pip thinking that the One with the World doesn't make it tapped? Well, I guess, okay, he's just going to play Heart of Zadina from hand and then has enough mana to Reflected Moment. And a special synergy is that Reflected Moment, if cast from exile, gives you 2 extra turns. So generates 8 mana off of Zadina. Oh wait. So yeesh, playing Burgeoning Blooms for X = 6. So this basically means Pip gets... yeah. And Petal Weaver Alexa plus Worlds Colliding, like we mentioned earlier, is infinite turns. So ouch, yeah. Chumbeque almost got there, was 1 turn away from winning, but ultimately Pip was just able to push out the turns combo faster than Chumbeque could aggro. So good games to both players, but Pip on Temur Tulip turns takes it 2-0 over Chumbeque on Sultai counters aggro. Until next time, this is Caillou signing off.